Wow, we made it to 2022. How crazy that we're here. How crazy that we get to say that we're here. And I just am glad to be here after this last couple of months. So welcome to my channel. Hey guys, I'm Mila, the Hangry Woman, and today I'm going to talk about how I plan to make 2022 my best year ever after the dumpster fire for me that was 2021. So if you like videos about diabetes, about coffee, life with diabetes, about food in general, I'm your girl. I run a blog called The Hangry Woman, and all I talk about is food all the time. But in the context of living with diabetes, I have a type of diabetes called Latent Autoimmune Diabetes in adults. So I talk about all of that all the time on this channel. Would love it if you would hit the subscribe button and stick around with me for the year so that you can see all of the changes in this video happen. I'm so grateful that you guys are even watching. I feel a really renewed and fresh spirit, and so I'm excited to share what my goals are for the next year and what I'm thinking about doing to achieve them. With that, let's just jump in. I think the first thing that everybody probably wants to know is about relationships and what I plan to do in that realm. And so if you missed it during Vlogmas, I had planned to do this like epic Vlogmas. I was ready to vlog every day. And then I got hit with the news that I didn't want to hear and decided that it was best to move forward with divorce. So that's kind of the place that I'm in right now. Our divorce is very much in the pending stage, but we have agreed that we're just not going to be together. And so for me, relationships are super important. Like I was in one for 9 years that, you know, was like a quarter of my life basically. Well, less than a quarter for me, but I realized that a lot of the work that I need to do in relationships is rebuilding that with family and friends. Not that I've neglected that in any way, but just like forming stronger bonds with people who have been there for me throughout this whole process. And then also just the relationship with myself, like the way that I feel about myself, the way that I move through the world, the confidence that I build, like all of those things I think are so important in moving forward in this new chapter in my life. And I am so excited to be working on that relationship with myself. And I'll talk about some of the ways that I am working on that. But I think that that is going to be massive for me. That's going to be so huge to really just like rebuild that time with Mila and relearn who I am, relearn what I want, be more assertive and more decisive in the things that I want, and just enjoy this chapter of being single in my 30s when I can be independent and when I can have all the things that I want to have. I think that like that is going to be just amazing for me. So in terms of relationships, like rebuilding with family and friends, working on those relationships, and also just being kinder to myself, I think is going to be massively important and is going to carry me through this whole next year. In terms of health, I feel like I have come so far since I started this YouTube channel. So when I started my YouTube channel, I had an average A1C, which is your hemoglobin A1C. It's 3-month average of your blood sugars. My A1C was 10% when I started this channel. And it was because of frustration. It was because I had gotten it down to a 6 with diet and exercise, but I was crash dieting. I was not eating. I was restricting food. Like I was doing all of these things that just weren't the right things to do. I was over exercising. I wasn't enjoying exercise. It was a chore for me. And it resulted in, you know, 2 things. One, my A1C shooting right back up to 10% after getting it back down. But then it also resulted in me also getting tested for latent autoimmune diabetes in adults, or LADA, which I found out that I have, which is a slow progressing form of type 1, if I have not said that already. And I basically was just in this place where I was like, I have no idea what to do. And so from starting there to then starting this channel and getting lots of your kind and encouraging messages and support and lots of mean messages and lots of not support, people who are not happy for me, people who did not want to see me succeed, it was really cool to get my latest A1C results and be down to 7%. And that was before I actively really started using insulin, or mealtime insulin. I'd been using a basal insulin for a really long time, but mealtime insulin was something that I hadn't really incorporated into my routine. It was something we did on and off. And then after I got off of Ozempic, that was our next course of treatment. So I just feel a whole lot better. I feel like I am still losing weight at a steady pace. I feel like I'm enjoying my food. I'm not restricting carbs to this like ungodly amount of no carbs. Like I feel like I can actually live my life and I feel happy and I think I feel more energetic, and I am really appreciative of those things because I've seen how far my health has come, but I feel like there's more that I can do. And so I'm super excited to start doing some form of activity every day. So whether that is yoga or running or my Peloton bike or a meditation, I just want to do something to take care of my body every single day. It doesn't have to be a long thing. It doesn't have to be an hour and a half long bike ride every single day, but just something to get me up and something to get me stimulated and motivated. I think that that is also going to be something that is hugely important for me. But I also just want to be the healthiest person that I can be, both physically and mentally, because I know that this next season of life is not going to be an easy one. And the more equipped that I am, like physically and mentally, to handle some of what's to come, whether that's rejection or heartbreak or just loneliness or whatever comes of this next part of my life, I want to at least know that my body and my spirit and my mind are completely taken care of. And just setting aside some time every single day to do that, I think, is one of the easiest things I can do. And so far, it's been 4 days into the month, but I feel like I've done that pretty well. So I'm so happy about it, and I've been feeling really great and just energized and happy after exercising and adding that into my routine. And it's something that I look forward to doing and something that I want to do. So I think that that is also going to be something that I am really going to enjoy. Okay, moving on to work. As you all know, this is my work. Hangry Woman is my job. And if you didn't know, outside of my YouTube channel, I run a blog called The Hangry Woman, and it is my pride and joy of my life. I also started actively doing YouTube last year. So if you're meeting me from here, hello, hi, this is where I am. And then I also make money through sponsorships with partners. So sometimes you might see ads on my channel, as well as you guys. So when you decide to subscribe to my channel and join as a member, or if you join my Patreon as a member and you get those special and exclusive perks, those are the kinds of things that are, you know, a part of what I do and a part of my work. And so I do a lot of research. I do a lot of recipe testing. I do a ton of writing. I am always on the internet. I always also have like an Instagram, a Facebook page, and I freelance write for publications as well. So it's a hugely massive task to undertake by myself. One of the goals that I have this year is to really just plan ahead a lot more. So really getting content out on a regular basis, really talking through what I want to do, talking through what my goals are. This year is the year for my cookbook, so I really need to finish that because it's an amazing idea. It's wonderful. It's beautifully done. Like the recipes, I think you guys are going to love it so much, and I'm trying to get it out by the midpoint of this year. I think that's going to be a hugely massive undertaking for this next 6 months, as well as like creating content for my channels in general. And so just overall, like I want to grow this. I want this to be even bigger than it already is. I'm so proud of what I've done in this past 10 years with this. Like I only started doing this full time a year and a half ago. 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, I guess. It's so weird. Almost 2 years ago. I quit my job in March of 2020, my full-time job with benefits in March of 2020, because I was able to replace my like annual salary with Hangry Woman. And it floored me that I could do that. But this has been the best decision that I've ever made. And it's been just massively helpful and wonderful. Like, all I have ever wanted to do in my life is be a writer and be a content creator. And I'm so fortunate and blessed that we have the ability to do this, and can actually be a job. I think that is something that people overlook all the time, and people say anyone can do that, and like, you know, it's easy to be a content creator, but it's not. There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes and behind it, and especially when you're a one-woman show like I literally, this is me. Like, you see me filming this, I'm filming it myself. You see the edits on it, I edited it myself. You see the writing and the descriptions and the captions and all of the things. Like, that's me, only me. I do it all. And so, you know, I think that it's noble also to ask for help. So when I'm in a place this year where I can get help again, I feel like that's going to be really great for me. Right now, you know, before I was living with 2 incomes, and so it was easy to be able to splurge on things like tools and help. And now I've really had to consider how I scale that back, because now it's just me and I have no backup. I have savings and we'll make some money from our house, but like, it's just me. I have to figure this out every month. And so I think it's really important to me that I, you know, create a schedule for myself and create a way to be able to facilitate being able to do it all, because I do take pride in being able to do it. But at the end of the day, I think having help is okay. Asking for help is okay. And if I could do this with some help, and if I could eventually build a team and eventually have this, you know, be something that's a little bit greater than what it already is now, that would be like my ultimate goal, my ultimate dream for this. The reason that I started this blog in the first place was because I couldn't find resources about diabetes that spoke to me. And I wanted to be able to create that resource and show people that it's going to be sad. That day that you get the diagnosis, it's going to be sad, it's going to be frustrating, it's going to be depressing, it's going to be upsetting, and there's nothing that can change that. But once you realize that there are other people that are like you, and there is a community out there of people who are also living with diabetes, who are also doing pretty well and managing diabetes pretty well, I think that you get a sense of like, okay, I could do this. I can make this happen, and I can figure out how to fit this into my life. And that's what I always wanted to create for people, just like easy ways to do that, whether it's through recipes or through some of my writing in terms of my frustrations with diabetes, so that somebody else knows like, that feeling is common. I'm not just crazy. Or just seeing other comments and seeing other people comment and say like, I've been dealing with this too, and like, I'm glad that I'm not alone. I think that those things are really important for me, and that's why I started this in the first place. And I just want to be able to continue to do that over time, and also just show you like the coolest tech and products and things that can just make your life easier. Like, nobody wants to live a hard life with diabetes, and you shouldn't have to bang your head against the wall to figure all that stuff out. And if somebody can find it for you and tell you and try it out for you so you don't waste your money and like give you the best information possible, why not? Like, I think that is where I come from in all of this. So I just want more people with diabetes to be able to see that. And it's my ultimate goal that eventually I reach as many people as possible. So if you're seeing this part, share this video, pass it on, share my channel with somebody. Like, we want everybody with diabetes to know that, like, at the end of the day, it is so hard, but like, you do have support. You really do. And so I think, coming from that place, I just want y'all to know that. And I want y'all to know, like, that's the reason why I want to grow this more. I also have financial goals. So I want to, of course, save more money, because now a rainy day fund is more important than ever, especially because I am living on interesting type of work that is not always consistent. So I think that's going to be really big for me in terms of saving a lot of money, consolidating all of my retirement accounts from all the jobs that I've had in the past. I realized that I had never done that, and I probably just have money floating around everywhere. So that's kind of scary, because that's money that I had earned that literally is in the void right now. So really consolidating those things, getting a financial planner to kind of help me with budgeting and also just with managing my money and my business money a little better. I think I do a pretty good job of it on my own already, but it doesn't hurt to have a second pair of eyes who can really decipher what you're doing and tell you how to do it better. So I think that that's going to be really important for me as well. And then also paying off debt. So, of course I said that we're selling our house, which is a huge piece of debt that we have had. People don't consider their homes debt because you do build equity over time. But it is debt. It's debt. Like, it's money that you owe until you own it. So it's debt. So we're, essentially we are likely going to sell our house for more than what we paid for it, which is great. It means that we get a profit back that we get to split. And so I decided that what I wanted to do with my money first and foremost was that I wanted to pay off my car and just get my car note off of my back, off of my plate, so that I don't have to worry about it. And it frees up some more income for me every month to be able to spend back on my business. And then I also am paying off credit card that we have together. And so I think that I won't be debt free per se. Like, I'll still have a student loan, which I could pay off, but then I wouldn't have the liquid cash. And, you guys can tell me if that's a good idea or not. I don't know. It's a really low monthly payment at low interest. So I'm like, what's the point? But I do feel like having those pieces of debt off of my plate are going to be so helpful in terms of my financial future. And I also know how to manage my money so much better now. Like, I know not to go into debt with a credit card. I know not to overspend. I know all of these concepts that I really didn't know before when I was just handed a credit card and a credit limit. And so I think that it's going to be really nice to have those things paid off and gone and out of the way and not have to worry about them anymore and just have that financial freedom that I really want. And I also think that that's going to be important to my stability because, like I said before, shrinking down to one income and no safety net and a job that's literally just like, you might get paid this month, you might not. That's really hard. So being able to save as much money as possible and kind of moving forward in that way is going to be just wonderful and so cool to actually see that happen. So I'm really excited about that portion of things and just getting everything right. Like, I talked about the mental and physical presence of myself. I talked about my health. I talked about my financial future. I talked about my relationship future and what I want for my work. And I feel like you're not going to ever have perfect balance in everything, but it's so great to have goals because if you have a goal, you have something to work toward. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but I have this vision board back here. And every year I stick all of my goals on that board. I just take sticky notes. I don't even do it with anything special like magazine cutouts or pictures or visualizations or anything. It's literally a post-it note. I scribble down what I want for the year and I stick it up on that board and I look at it every month and I'm like, okay, here's what I can do. Here's what's going to happen. This is going to be awesome. This is going to be so easy and I'm just going to I'm going to do this. And when I tell you that I probably put 10 things up on that board last year that I kept up there all year, and I achieved 7 out of 10 of them. And 3 of them I was probably never going to get. So it just never was going to happen. But I was like, you know what, I'm going to put it up there because it's something to work toward. And I think that that is the important thing about goals and about making your year the best year ever. It's if you set goals and you just check in with yourself and check in with how you're doing up against those goals, you'll find that you're doing so well and you're probably doing way more than you think, which I think is amazing. So I actually today published a blog about how to set and reach your goals. It mostly centers around health, but it could be applied to just about anything. And I really like doing that exercise of just setting intentions and goals and having kind of a theme for my year because I feel like it helps me get through the year. My theme for last year was stability, which is horrifically ironic to me because there was nothing stable about last year for me. Everything that I thought that I knew in my life kind of crumbled and came crashing down. And so I'm walking into this year, 2022, and my word, or like my phrase, I guess, is no expectations. Like, I don't expect anything out of this year. I expect to live. I expect to get through the year. I expect to do the best that I can day to day. But overall, I have no expectations about anything else because I just can't. My brain can't function and can't think of expectations at all. Like, I'm not in that place. So no expectations for this year, and I will be pleasantly surprised and pleasantly happy with whatever happens. All right, guys, that's it for this video. I would love it if you dropped a comment down below and told me one goal that you have for this year, and I will happily cheer you on in the comments section. I appreciate you guys watching so much. I look forward to everything that we're gonna share in 2022. I hope that this is your best year yet, and even if it's not your best year yet, I just hope it's a good year for you. I hope it's beautiful. I hope it brings you the things that you're looking for and that you want. And I hope that you are able to thrive no matter what your situation is and what you're living in. So I appreciate you guys so much, more than you even know. I don't know how many times I can say it, really. Y'all are amazing. I'm also going to leave my Patreon subscribers a thank you, so their names will flash up here on screen, just so they can see that they are just appreciated so much as well, for their support, for their consideration, for their patience with me in this past 2 months while I have been a hot ass mess. And yeah, I mean, I feel like that's the way I gotta end it today. So thank you guys so much. I'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye.